Baba Vanga named the most evil women according to the zodiac sign. They are witches. There are women whose power is frightening. Their voice can hurt, their look can pierce armor, and their words can leave a scar in the soul. This is not just character. This is the darkness hidden behind the outer calm. Baba Vanga once said, "Among all the zodiac signs, there are those who have a witch inside them. They should not be angered. They should not be betrayed. They do not forgive." Today you will find out which zodiac signs give birth to the most evil women, those whose energy can destroy, whose curse reaches its target, whose revenge is cold, precise and inevitable. They do not waste time on arguments. They hurt where they thought they were protected. If you believe that strength of character is not just words, if you want to know who is better not to cross, watch carefully. Subscribe to the channel if you feel that knowledge is your protection. And write in the comments, have you encountered one of them? Or, perhaps, do you carry this power within yourself? Let's begin. The most evil women according to the zodiac sign, how to recognize them and why they are dangerous. The first sign is Taurus, a woman's sign in whom evil matures not in a storm, but in silence. Her malice does not manifest itself in words, it takes root in actions. She does not quarrel, she remembers. She does not take revenge sharply, she punishes consistently. A Taurus woman will not forgive if she feels betrayed, will not forget if you question her decisions. She will not speak out loud, she will pretend that everything is fine. But at this time, a plan is formed inside her, where every step of the enemy will be taken into account, and for each, its own trap is provided. She does not conjure out loud, her actions become a spell. There is no place for impulse in her character. Everything she does is thought out, grounded, aimed at the result. If she decides that someone should disappear from her life, so it will be. Without hysterics, without a second chance. She will turn off access to herself, like a switch. And this cold penetrates the bones. Her anger is not a flash, but a stone. Heavy, stable and deadly accurate. She can wait for months, years. Not because she does not know how to take revenge, but because she knows how to wait for the perfect moment. Such a woman does not believe in coincidences. She creates an outcome. If she needs to make someone suffer, she will do it in an unobvious way. She will give a person room for error, watching how he digs a hole for himself. She knows how to remain silent when others would explode, and her silence destroys more than a scream. Her rage manifests itself in absence. Her revenge is the zeroing of emotions towards the object of hatred. You no longer exist, and this is her main blow. Her witch nature manifests itself in the ability to subjugate reality to her will. She does not need potions, she uses the power of intention. What she desires, sooner or later becomes reality. She knows how to attract and repel, letting in the right ones and blocking those who were not to her heart. When she is angry, plants wither, equipment breaks, money disappears from her offenders. These are not coincidences. This is a consequence of her cold, directed anger. The Taurus woman becomes the most evil when her patience runs out. She can close her eyes for a long time, restrain, explain. But when the limit is reached, she ceases to be earthly. She turns into a force that is better not to argue with. She will smile when she destroys. Her gaze will become icy. Her touch, poisoned. She will not forgive weakness, she will not understand betrayal, and she will not leave a chance to those who undermined her faith in security. This is not a flash. This is an element that does not come to show strength. It comes to erase. If the Taurus woman decides to destroy, it will not be a fight. It will be disappearance, and no one will understand at what moment everything collapsed. She will simply stop being kind. And this is her anger, silent, heavy, irrevocable. The second sign of Pisces. Pisces is a woman's sign whose anger is hidden under the mask of sensitivity, but this only makes it more dangerous. She can cry, and at the same moment curse. Silently, inside, without words, but with a force that breaks fate. Her anger is not obvious. It comes softly, like the cold from which you cannot escape with a blanket. The Pisces woman is a witch whose weapon is emotions. Not her own, but yours. She will play on them, control, evoke, and then break. First you will feel pity, then guilt, then you will lose yourself. She knows how to enter the soul, do it so delicately that no one will notice. But when she is inside, everything changes. You begin to doubt yourself, lose orientation, begin to make mistakes. She influences from within. Her anger is not straightforward. It is subtle, like odorless poison. And if you hurt her, you won't understand where the problem started. Everything will look like a series of accidents. But she knows, she started it. She doesn't raise her hand, doesn't shout, doesn't blame. She just distances herself. But she takes part of your life energy with her. And then she returns it, but distorted. Doubts, fears, anxieties, all of this will begin to creep inside you until you break. Her revenge is psychological. Her witchcraft is in the ability to create an emotional background that destroys. She will never give a direct answer, but her silence becomes the answer to everything. When Pisces become angry, they don't turn into a monster, they turn into a mirror. You begin to see your fears, weaknesses, mistakes, and you drown in them. She doesn't hurt directly, she returns your own evil in an enhanced form, and watches as you plunge into chaos. She can remain silent for years, but if she wants to punish you, she will do it, using your words against you, your actions against your future. This woman knows how to create an illusion. First, you will believe that she is defenseless, then, that she understands you, then, that she will save you, and then it will turn out that all this was a theater in which you played the role of a fool. Her cunning is in the trust that she evokes. Her magic is in the feedback that you do not immediately realize. She does not conjure with candles, she changes your reality through feelings. The worst thing about her anger is its invisibility. While you are looking for the source of troubles, she will smile, say that everything is fine. And this is the real darkness. A Pisces woman will not forgive a mental wound. She can pretend that she has forgotten, but on the day when you need her, she will not extend her hand. And you will understand that this was her revenge. Silent, quiet, final. The third sign is Scorpio. A Scorpio woman does not get angry, she transforms. There is no superficial resentment or outburst of irritation in her nature. Her emotions go deep, forming a closed energy center, which over time turns into a point of destruction. When Vanga mentioned her as one of the darkest witches among all the signs, she did not mean occultism, but an innate ability to destroy those who violated her boundaries. This woman will not take revenge immediately. She will wait, gain strength, infuriate the enemy with his own words, and then strike a blow from which it is impossible to recover. She does not act straightforwardly. Her strength is in the ability to collect information, store it and use it at the moment when the interlocutor completely opens up. She observes, hears between the lines, sees when a person has not yet realized that he is vulnerable. Her anger is not about screaming. This is a systematic destruction of reputation, influence, status. She destroys not with hysteria, but with calculation. Her revenge is a game of chess, where each piece moves slowly but precisely. And the end is always checkmate. Her gaze is an instrument of influence. When she is silent, the atmosphere thickens. When she speaks, each word carries a meaning that will stay with the addressee for a long time. She does not explain, she asserts. She does not ask, but demands. She can create a situation in which the other has no choice. This is not manipulation. This is control over reality. She has an innate skill to shape reality through pressure at the right point. Scorpio is not an open threat. She works from the inside. She destroys, remaining outwardly unperturbed. Her revenge does not come when you expect it, and not in a form that can be recognized. She does not punish immediately. She waits until the other relaxes, until he thinks that everything has calmed down. And at that moment she acts, so that the victim has neither time nor opportunity to defend himself. Her strength is in contact with those emotions that others are afraid to admit. Envy, jealousy, rage, hatred. She knows how to process these feelings into energy. Not for self-destruction, but for victory. She does not drown in pain. She makes a weapon out of it. Each of her injuries becomes part of a defense system that no one can hack. This woman is a witch because she controls her environment on an emotional level. People feel when she is present, even if she is silent. Her energy penetrates the conversation, the atmosphere, the decisions. If she is angry, everyone feels it. She does not raise her voice. She simply closes the field around herself, and there is no oxygen left for the enemy inside. She does not allow betrayal twice. The first time is a mistake. The second is impossible. If someone violates the boundary, he will never return to her life. And if he tries, he will stumble upon armor of cold, silence and absence. She will not take revenge in plain sight. She will simply force circumstances to destroy the offender. Without effort, without words, just a look, and the system is launched. The fourth sign is Leo. The power of a Leo woman is not in volume, but in control. Her anger is not an emotional reaction, but a conscious decision. When Baba Vanga mentioned her as one of the most destructive witches among the signs, it was not an exaggeration. Because she combines natural charisma, imperiousness and the cold mechanism of suppression. She does not punish with impulse. She punishes on principle, and when her principle is violated, no one will survive. A Leo woman is not hysterical or jealous. This is a force that suppresses not with words, but with a look. She knows how to penetrate into the essence of another person and see what is important to him. And she remembers this point. Not right away, but definitely. And if necessary, she will strike exactly there. Her anger does not come for the stage, but to demonstrate superiority. She does not arrange showdowns. She arranges a demonstration of strength. If she is betrayed, she does not cry. She erases the name of the culprit from her life. But first, she deprives him of his status. She knows how to make a person no longer feel important. She does not destroy physically. She makes it so that a person stops believing, stops listening to him, stops being lucky. Her witch nature manifests itself in the ability to lead. She creates a circle of veneration around herself. But if someone dares to leave the circle with criticism or betrayal, this person will be disgraced. Not necessarily publicly. Sometimes one word from her in the right place is enough, and the authority falls. She knows her value, and if someone tried to belittle her, he will receive an answer that he will never forget. This is not a screen. This is a program for destroying someone else's pride. First, she will give a chance. Then she will hint, and if the line is crossed, the destruction will begin. Consistent, cold, legally impeccable. A Leo woman knows how to destroy with a reputation. She knows what is more important, a word or silence. And sometimes it is her silence that becomes a sentence. She does not interfere, she lets the world figure it out on its own. But she does it with such control that everything happens according to her script. She is a witch not because she casts spells, but because she controls meanings. Her anger is power. If you respect her, she will raise you up. But if you betray her, she will not lower you. She will destroy, first with disappointment, then with detachment, then with oblivion. And when a person understands what he has lost, it will be too late. Because she does not return. And she does not give a second chance. She does not take revenge. She returns justice, not according to the law of society, but according to her own. And her law is simple. If you violate her border, be prepared to lose everything. And if she has already remembered the name, then time has begun. Because the lion's anger is not a flash. It is a ritual, final, precise and without the possibility of playing back.